The gold standard of sports betting shows where we talk the talk and walk the walk. Sorry for being late. Had a little production bug, but I think we got it worked out. Dan, after a monster show yesterday, we got almost an even bigger one today. 3 guests. What are we talking about?
Yeah, absolutely. Jam-packed show here today. You want MLB, you got it with one of the best in the biz. Drew Martin going to be batting leadoff here for us. We're going to talk Cards, Yankees. Skee Profit is here. He's going to give you a 2-pack in WNBA action. And also, you're going to want to stay tuned because Profit Picks is following us right after we're done here. And Andrew McGinnis is coming on. A little early CFL action. If you're not excited for the Hall of Fame game, you're probably not excited for CFL either. But we're going to cash in on it. I can guarantee you that. Andrew McGinnis with 2 best bets coming your way, Andy. But let's start off. Wager Talk Today. Play of the day. We've been struggling a little bit here, but it's Skeens Day. And we'll talk a little bit more about this with Drew Martin. A lot of talk that is Paul Skeens washed. The fastball isn't once what it was. We still think the strikeouts can go over. Tell them about it, Andy.
Yeah, I know about the velocity issues with Paul Skeens, so it's not going to bother me with this particular matchup. We're going to take him over 6.5 strikeouts. It's a little juicy, so lower the percentage that you play on it. It's just the matchup. The Brewers have been striking out a lot lately. They struck out 8 times yesterday against the Pirates. Monday, they struck out 12 times against the Pirates. Sunday, they struck out 11 times against the Angels. And this number has been really, really good to Skeens. Over in 15 out of the last 18 games. 7.5 is just going to be a wild number for the books to hang, so I don't blame them for doing this at 6.5. But when you get a matchup like this, you got to take advantage. So the Brewers just swinging and missing and looking and missing. So give me Skeens over 6.5 strikeouts. We lost the first 2 plays of the week. It's losing the free plays, winning the client plays. So thank you, everybody that joined us on $5 Tuesday. Big 4% cash in MLB. We got another one coming up tonight. So we'll get these free plays on the right track today.
Yeah, it always seems like that, right, Andy? Either our free plays are absolutely rolling and we're slumping a little bit for the clients, but the clients are feeling good right now. We'll get the free plays straightened out. Don't worry, folks. So we're going with Paul Skeens over the 6.5 strikeouts. Let us know what your best bet is on today's card. Andy, a hump day, and to get over the hump, 3 different sports that we're breaking on. Let's kick it off with our man Drew Martin in the house, looking good. The Marlins hat looking strong, my friend. You and I can get right into this because I think we got some great games to break down here with you. We'll start off here with We'll start off here with the St. Louis Cardinals taking on the New York Yankees. Surprising to no one, you're seeing the Yankees as decent favorites here, Drew. How are you looking to break this game down as we kick off our MLB slate on today's show?
Yeah, Dan, pretty nice Wednesday hump day slate here on the diamond. And I'll tell you, I like the Redbirds catching a nice plus price in this game. Andre Palante, the 27-year-old out of Cal Irvine, 11-6 on the season. His last 2 starts combined, he's only let up 2 earned runs, going almost 14 innings in the process. And when you kind of pin it up against the other starting pitcher here for the Yankees, Warren, he started out the season real hot. I was actually on him a couple times, then took a couple losses and jumped off. And sure enough, he's been tagged for 5+ earned runs in 3 of his last 7 starts. And the Yankees, up until yesterday's game, they only scored 2 runs or less in 4 of their last 5 games. So even though they're plus 81 in terms of run differential, the bats really aren't seeing it. In overall, you're going to give me 30 cents on St. Louis, very much in the National League playoff hunt. Going to take a shot here, Dan. Give me St. Louis listing Andre Palante as the starter, plus 130 on the Redbirds.
Wow, we're getting a little dog right out of the gate, Drew. I love it. Drew doesn't just come on Wager Talk Today. He comes on firing. We love to see that, Drew. We got this other game to talk about, Pirates and Brewers, and you heard Andy and I talking about how we like Skeens to maybe not bounce back, but to maybe diversify the portfolio, not just go with that fastball down the middle. Before we talk about that, though, Drew, this is a time of year where we are on the precipice of one of your favorite times of year, and that is because college football is right around the corner, and this deal is crazy to me, man. If people want to hop on, get your college football action. We're going to get you the MLB through the World Series. So tell the folks a little bit about how you've been seeing it. Tell the folks about how you're getting ready for college football and why they should take advantage of this deal, because it's a no-brainer, man.
Oh, thanks for that, Dan. And yeah, thanks for the props, man. I mean, really, it's my two favorite sports, football and baseball. I was kind of a two-sport athlete in high school. And sure enough, it's kind of formed into being the two most profitable sports for me. Baseball, this year, baseball's a grind, no doubt about it. Each and every day, it's ups and downs. But there's been more ups than downs. And you can definitely if you grab the college football package, which last year was a great year in CFB, 62% over 70% in the 5%, going by plus almost 63 units over the full season, and entering the season on a ridiculous 9-0 run off of last year. And yes, it does wrap around in professional sports, meaning if you get a hit streak at the end of the year, it still counts going into the end of the year. So we're gonna roll with that one, Dan. And MLB, continuing to if it's not broken, don't fix it. And if it's not broken, on the diamond for me. So like you kind of teed up there. If you buy college football, you get the rest of MLB free, no extra charges later, all the way through Game 7 of the World Series if needed. So you save almost $350 in the process. So yeah, thanks, Dan. And looking to do it again this year, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And you see it right there with the MLB and college football, what he did last year combined. You're looking at over 100 units. So keep the success going, man. Keep that volume going. We appreciate that. And you can check it out, wt.buzz/DM. All right, Drew. Pirates and Brewers. Typically, these two names on the mound, you got Harrison, you got Skeens. You're saying, oh my goodness, this is a great matchup here. However, Harrison, correct me if I'm wrong, this is going to be the first time that he's seeing action since mid-July. He was out with some forearm tightness, so he's going to be making his first start. And Skeens kind of wishes he was making his first start in a while, right? The last two outings, disastrous for our man, Paul Skeens there. So Andy and I like Skeens to bounce back here today. What do you think as far as the handicap is concerned between these two teams? How are you looking to bet it, Drew?
Yeah, kind of like what you and Andy were just talking about. I figure this is kind of a tricky handicap. First off, you get Harrison coming off of the IL. That's always a little bit tricky. And then you get Skeens, big name, good looking girlfriend, first pick overall, throws hard. People love just to watch him overall. But the truth is, this season, he has dropped off. He's 9-9, near a 4 ERA, back-to-back 5 earned runs given up, including, and this is very alarming, this is something you can't kind of not take into account. Last time out, 4 walks, 2 bombs given up, 7 hits against the Cincinnati Reds. Now he's taken a step up in class against the Brew Crew bats. I have my worries about Paul Skeens, no doubt about it. I don't necessarily disagree with the free play of the day, but how many strikeouts you get is not necessarily 100% correlated with the winning outcome. And when we're talking the Milwaukee Brewers, make no mistake, we're talking the best team in baseball. You are what your record says you are. And right now on August 5th, 2026 in the MLB season, the Milwaukee Brewers have the best record in baseball. I'm not looking to go up against them. And lastly here, you bring up Harrison, the lefty for the Brewers. He was a guy, the clients can tell you, I was riding, Dan. This guy was money. Even though it is his first start off the IL, if you go back and look at his minor league rehab, they only gave him 1, which is another thing to notice. When these organizations, a young gun, only 1 rehab start, all right, you're ready. Get up into the show. We don't want to waste any more pitches in minor leagues. I tend to put that in my back pocket in terms of ride that wave, because if they're wanting him in the show, that's usually a good sign. And sure enough, he's 8-2, 3 flat ERA. And this year versus the Pirates bats, he already went 6 innings with just 1 hit given up and 12 strikeouts earlier this year. So the Pirates did not see him well at all. Harrison, he changed speeds well. He's a guy I like to bet on. I like the Brewers here, and we're not having to lay that big of a price at all with the Milwaukee Brewers. -$1.25. It's the Brewers over the Pirates for me, Dan.
That's fine with us. Brewers can get the win. Let's just get some strikeouts from our man Skeen. Skeens, get us some strikeouts, and then your team can go on to do what they do best, and that's lose games. So we're taking the Brewers with our man Drew Martin. Drew, again, we shared that if folks want to lock in your college football, they can get MLB for free. MLB, you hear the breakdowns there. The work speaks for itself. Drew's also doing Drew's Daily Diamond, where you can get some additional MLB best bets. But with that college football looming, how do you strike a good balance, Drew? And when do you start really gearing up for your college football handicaps? Are you a guy who's looking at season win totals, or are you just looking more towards, hey, let's get to the season, I'm a day-by-day bettor? How do you kind of strike the balance between transitioning from MLB to college football and trying to keep those profits up for you and your clients as well? How do you kind of transition as college football is knocking at the door?
It's a great question, Dan. And to tell you the truth, I've changed what I've done. And if you go back to like kind of 2021, 2022, I lost in college football. I was losing units, and I'm like, man, I need to change something up here. And I did a lot of video content back then. Every game on the board, doing a lot of kind of game breakdowns and having to I guess just prepare for a lot of video content. And I kind of brought that back, and I've gotten more towards watching tape, as a former quarterback, breaking down these different offenses, betting sides and totals, and kind of projecting what's going to be happening the next week. And sure enough, I got back to doing that. The last 2 years have been great in college football. And I also got to bring up the fact, Dan, college football in itself has changed with this transfer portal. Yep. So 6 months ahead, doing a lot of college football work, I almost think it's kind of a waste of time. And therefore, 4th of July, I've kind of opened up the book. I've been spending, a couple hours a day, just going over last year's notes, seeing what has changed, primarily at the quarterback position, but offenses, defenses as well. Offensive coordinators are a big change that you need to pay attention to. And now I'm digging in, a couple hours each day, getting ready for the season. And I got a couple season win totals, week one, getting ready. But I'll tell you, Dan, talking about change and handicapping for college football, week one, you got to be ready. You got to be on your toes, because if you came into the season with, hey, XYZ is going to happen with these teams, and right out the gate, it changes, because a lot of these teams play big games right out the gate. You got to be ready to change your power ratings more so than I think a lot of people are ready to do so. And those are some of the things I brought in and had some success over the last couple of years in college football.
I love it. WT.buzz/DM. And yes, week one looms. Week 0 comes even quicker. And it'll be here by the end of the month, Drew. Whatever you want to call it. Where I think August 27th is when games are kicking off, right?
Yeah. Are we still doing that WagerTalk weekend thing in Vegas, or not so much anymore?
I think it's been completely thrown. I think
it was a wild time. It was fun, but
it was very fun. I always loved it, and we got to see all of our friends. But maybe there was one P too many that changed how things were done for the WagerTalk meet and greet. And if you know. But Drew, always a pleasure, man. You and I will talk soon. We have all kinds of great content coming your way. WT.buzz/DM. Make sure you lock in that college football and you get that MLB for free. Drew, continued success, buddy. Always a pleasure, man.
Dan, Andy, always fun with you guys. And shout out to Skee Profit, man. That guy keeps winning. I'm trying to keep up with him. Check Skee Profit out. All right, boys.
Absolutely. Skee coming up next year. And also Profit Picks is right around the corner. But yes, Andy, it is if you know, you know. And Johnny,
some people,
I put it lightly.
Some people had more fun than others. And that's kind of how some of these things goes. There's the infamous, if you want a really good read, look up what happened at the Mike and Mike ESPN roast years ago. That's the ultimate. Some people had more fun than others. I mean, that night goes down in history. They've tried to scrape that from the history books, but you can still find some stuff that's out there. So, all right, we're going to bring on Skee here in a second. We got a big day and a big couple of days coming up because we have a monster tennis tournament. We had a weird tennis play yesterday that kind of cashed on 5% or on $5 Tuesday. One of the legs got voided because a player retired, so we hit half the leg. But 5% best bet is up right now, and that starts tomorrow morning. So we got a few days where we have basically all of the tennis doubles teams that are in town playing up in Canada. So we're gonna be hard and heavy on tennis doubles plays the next 3 or 4 days. We also have a 4% MLB best bet that is up tonight. These have been crushing 22-7 run. Thank you to everybody that jumped on board for our winner yesterday. We get over there by the hook. It's just I think 3 days is probably the best way to attack this from a buyer's perspective. Buy 3 days, get 3 free, because it's going to get you all the way through our heavy tennis plays. And then we have a 5% best bet that goes off on Saturday night. 7-0 run in MMA. We're seeing that great. We're 30-20 on the season for MLB props. So this special's running out. We're not going to be running it for very long. So August 31st, we got less than a month. It's pretty much a perfect time to do that with us, because we're going to be really Johnny, cover your ears. We're going to be volume heavy the next couple of days, but in the first couple rounds of the tennis tournaments, that's kind of what we have to do. So, but 5% best bet is up, 10-3 run on those. So, pretty happy with what's going on. So,
yeah. And Andy, like you said, if we want to fire, we're going to fire in these tennis tournaments, especially in the early rounds. We have such a large platter to select from that we don't want to miss out. So WT.buzz/AL, you can get all of them 6 days for $69. Before we bring Skee on, Rob's asking, I can't hear audio because I'm on a lunch call. So do you know sign language, Andy? How are we supposed to get the point across to our friend Rob?
It's kind of the point of the show, Rob, is you gotta listen to it.
Yeah. Here's, I'll say, Skeen's last 2 starts bad. That 5 earned runs last 2 starts, not good. Did that get the point across? I
Brewers good. Best record. All right.
We love you, Rob. We love you.
Yes, Rob's one of the best. Okay, so generally what happens is Dan takes a guest, then I take a guest, and Dan take it. So it's WNBA, so of course I want to talk to Skee. We log in today, and for some reason it echoes only when I talk to Skee. So Dan gets to take Skee. He's going to take my notes that I put in our thing. So you two have fun talking about WNBA, and I know I can't talk directly to you, Skee, without the enormous echo. But congratulations, generational run that you're on in WNBA. Congratulations.
Yeah, Skee, you're absolutely crushing it, brother. We always love having you on here. Obviously, people can check out Profit Picks that goes each and every day around 1:30. You tune in, you subscribe, you know when they'll go live. But Skee, great to see you, man. And like Andy said, he'll talk through me. So Andy, if you have any follow-ups, you send me, because for whatever reason, StreamYard says, no, forget Andy, forget Skee. I'm the only one that can talk to Skee, and Skee's the only one that can talk to me. So Skee, let's get into it, man. We'll talk about this. Yeah, go ahead.
I really enjoyed that that breakdown and the shaky. I think the point went across really well. And I want to give a shout out to Drew. 2 sports that I don't pay the most attention to, MLB and college football. I've watched him captain for a long time before I've even was on WagerTalk. And I mean, you can hear how much he knows about it and how well he does by, when you hear him talk. So just want to give a shout out to Drew. And he does love those Marlins, man. He's wearing a Marlins hat. One of the best times I've had was at a Marlins game with Drew. So shout out to Drew.
Dude, Drew is always a good time. That's one of the biggest things that I miss about being at those meet and greets is when we'd be hanging with Drew. So I'm right there with you, man. All right, let's talk Wings and Mystics here. I am told that the Mystics have won 4 in a row. I have also been told that they just beat Dallas 81-75. Yet you're seeing Dallas as favorites here, Skee. Line leading the way, or do we got a false favorite here? What do you think, man?
Yeah, it's interesting. It's always interesting when you have a team on a big win streak and they come in as the underdog. The Mystics, they have absolutely been playing great basketball. They're healthy. and it's resulted in them having some success. One thing you don't want when you're on a really good run, when you're playing well, you don't want a whole lot of time off. This Mystics team hasn't played since the previous meeting between these teams, which was 5 days ago. So we always have the conversation about rest versus rust, and after what 4+ days, I don't consider it so much of an edge. Like I said, you don't want to be taken off the court for 5 days when you're playing so well. So I don't like the situation or the spot for the Mystics. The Wings, um, in that last matchup, I mean, they shot really poor. I think they shot 12%, something like that from three. They shot abysmal, and they barely lost the game. I think they can shoot it a lot better here tonight. I still think, the Mystics, they are the number one team. Get into the line. They shot like 30 something free throws. While they still may, get to the free throw line a lot, they probably won't shoot 30 something. So I think the Wings can clean up some of the things they did last game, and I do think they can get the win today. As far as the total, these teams, like I said, played 5 days ago. I think it ended 156 or 157, and that was with both teams combining to shoot. What was it? 10 for 50 from three. Was that 20%? So if you just get a little bit better shooting, even though both of these teams play slow, I can see this one getting up and over. So I would look towards either the road team or the total over in this matchup. And you are muted, Dan.
Thoughts on the total and the side. That is why Skee is one of the best in the biz. And folks, I'm not just saying it. Numbers don't lie, right? And right now you can grab Skee's NBA early bird. It's going to be here before we know it, folks. LeBron James will be in a Sixers uniform before we know it, Skee. And you want to cash in, you can get the WNBA free. We're looking at 124 units of basketball profit this season, Skee. I mean, what's been the secret sauce for you, man? Because it's something that you grind on every single year, but this year you're just seeing it great. Have you dropped down volume? Have you changed how you handicap? Or has it just been, seeing it and staying selective? How has this run happen? And folks can grab it over your page, wt.buzz/HP, but tell the folks about
it. Yeah, this run, it's been pretty amazing. It's crazy that I can say that I've had a better one. That's the crazy part. I've had one better one, but I've done it both ways. The one that was better, I did doing a lot of volume. This one, I did a little bit less volume. But both times I was extremely motivated. Both times I made a decision, whatever was not working previously, I'm going to stop doing it. I went over my record. I went over and just saw what was not working, throw it out, and just focus on what is, and go hard on what is, and don't bet unless you really, really love it. So that's what's been working out for me. And yeah, you guys see the numbers right there. You can go back even further. I mean, I think you can go back maybe 4 or 5 years. I'm up close to 300 units in the NBA. So it's something that I've been good at really my whole life. Even before I joined WagerTalk, I'm one of the guys who paid to have my picks tracked. And I did it successfully and won an NBA. So if you buy NBA, you get the WNBA free. Appreciate you, Dan, for all the kind words you said as well.
Absolutely, man. Mamba mentality, as you see behind Skee right there, with all that great Kobe stuff that he's rocking behind him. Skee, one of the things that I love about WNBA is we go from one game where we're talking a total below 170, and then the other 3 games you're looking at totals over 180, near 190. You're looking at 188 here as the Chicago Sky are taking on the Los Angeles Sparks. Also, some news and notes that Andy shared here with me. Kelsey Plum was just traded away from the Sparks, and then they get a dub shortly after that. So it was all Kelsey Plum's fault. That was the reason why you had some slump in there. Sky's last game ended 106-101. Interesting enough, that was the 106-101 win that Sparks had against Portland. So we're seeing around 2.5 money been showing for Chicago. They're up to 3.5 in some spots. What do you think about the side total in this one, Skee?
Yeah, for this game, I think it's not the greatest of spots for the Sparks. Or how can I say? I think it's a pretty good spot for the Sky. And when I say that, I'm just pulling up the schedule really quick. You look at the Sparks, They play again tomorrow. So front end of a back-to-back. They're on the road. So they had to travel and front end of a back-to-back. It's not the greatest of spots for a Sparks team. For the Sky, this is their fourth straight home game. They got 2 days off after this. They're rested for this game. That just to me means they can give more effort for the entirety of the game, knowing that they have rest, coming up. Whereas the Sparks will have to save some of those minutes, save some of that energy for their game versus the Lynx tomorrow. So because of that, it automatically makes me look towards the Sky. The thing that holds me up is the injury report. I don't like seeing Sydney Taylor game time decision as good as she's been all year. I know Azaree's been out a little bit. I don't like seeing her either. But if Sydney Taylor's in, it's an absolutely advantageous spot for the Sky. One other thing I'll mention for the Sparks, they got that first win after they traded Kelsey Plum, but this is not a team with a whole lot of talent. And, if you do follow the WNBA, if you do follow, some of the drama that's going on or, stuff that happens, there's a player on the Sparks who, had some viral stuff go out lately and might be, in the best place or focused on this game. We might have enjoyed whatever went out on the internet, but I'm sure she didn't. So everything to me makes me look towards the Chicago Sky from a side perspective. And what you said about the high total, I mean, even though it's high, I can't talk anybody off of looking towards an over. The way both of these teams play is extreme pace. Neither one of them is very good defensively. So it makes sense why you have a total of 188.5. And last thing I'll say is I've been capping WNBA for a long time. It's insane for me to see 188.5. And it's even more insane that we're going to have a 194.5 tomorrow. I mean, the totals, I started learning like the average was 160. And now we're looking at about 30 points higher. Just insane.
Yeah, that is absolutely crazy. 194.5. The look ahead here as Vegas is taking on Indiana. Well, Skee, echo or no echo? StreamYard's trying to keep our greatness down, and we just won't let them. Two terrific breakdowns and echo free coming your way on Profit Picks. Tell the folks about that show coming a little bit over an hour from now. And we already told them about why you should take advantage of this deal that Skee's got rocking early. NBA, you can grab NBA now, and you get WNBA rest of the season for free. This is an insane deal, and the numbers speak for themselves. Check it out. But tell them about Profit Picks before we send you on our way, man.
Appreciate you again. Yeah, Profit Picks, it will be me and Mr. Ravino. You guys heard me break down 2 games by myself. If you want to hear all 4 games broken down, a conversation style between Ravino and myself, that's a good way to check it out, help you with your handicap. And, maybe we'll throw out some things that you haven't thought about or heard before. Promo wise, I appreciate what you did for me. I do want to shout out one more thing. And I will put out NBA futures as well, but 20-7 on my futures over the last few years, whether that's NFL, NBA, and as of right now, I do have a package up where you'll get every NFL future that I put for this year. And my favorite one, I've already released. I'll continue to add as they go on. So that's what I have to promote for today. Last time I came on this show, I said that I'm not going to make a bet unless I love it. After that, I won 3 in a row. And then I lost 2. So I'm going to make my next bet one that I absolutely love. And you guys should be an all-access subscriber so you get it as soon as I make it.
Yeah, well, you were on this show, you go on the 3-0 run, and then the good luck of being on this show wore off a little bit. So it'll be back, Skee. Don't worry. We're going on another run. That's Skee Profit, WT.buzz/HP. Again, folks, apologies for some of those tech difficulties, but we made it work. Skee got you 2 great breakdowns on the game. You want the other 2 games? Check out Profit Picks here coming up in just about an hour. You're subscribed to the channel. You won't miss it. So Andy, well done. Well done there. Your notes were impeccable, by the way. I learned way more about WNBA, and I sounded like I knew way more than I ever had.
By the way, I was joking about Kelsey Plum. She's not the problem. She's one of the better players in the WNBA.
Yeah, I don't feel like I got across the sarcasm enough as you would have. You know what I mean? Right. So this is where text gets lost in translation. So yeah. So what are you gonna do?
Skee brought up something important. I've done that this year, and we try and talk about it on the show, getting rid of what's not working in your betting portfolio. And literally the difference, the margins are so small. We went over the power of 56%. I think you were gone, Dan. We went over the power of hitting 56% of games versus hitting 52% of game. It's literally like a few things. So Skee brought up, he got rid of some things that weren't working. I've talked about how MMA was a disaster the first part of the year. So we got rid of it. Now it's working. So getting rid of it and not continuing that losing streak like saved us so many units. And that's what you don't get credit for in this business. And that's what you guys like don't really see is the money that you're saving. Because when you're winning, it looks great. And when you're losing, you can see it. But when you lay off of things that would have lost, it just makes your bankroll so much better. I'll give you another example. MLB props have been going great. WNBA props were terrible. So we got rid of them. Now we've hit 5 straight WNBA money line winners. So just getting rid of some of the things that don't work is so paramount. Something I really believe in, but you got to be tracking all your plays and you got to know you got to have all your numbers there to see what's working and what's not. So, all right, we got to bring on Andrew. For Billy says, just stopping to support your show. Thanks for everything y'all do. Shout out to Brian, Trick, Tokyo, Brandon. Absolutely. Thank you, Billy. Appreciate that. We're bringing in Andrew, and this is a theme here today. Andrew Skee said, I never thought I'd see a total of 188.5 in WNBA, and now we got a total of 67.5 in CFL. What in the points world is going on with this one? But first off, happy Wednesday.
Hey, great to see you guys. Thanks for having me on here. A day earlier than scheduled, guys. I've talked to everybody I know in CFL betting, and they said this is by far the highest total they've seen. In fact, did open up 69.5. Some shops kind of wiggled its way down 67, 68. But here we are, guys. Here we are. These two teams. Are you bold enough to play an under? Is the question.
I got to be honest. I'm not playing the over. That's too many. It's under nothing
right
for me.
Everything has to go right the whole game.
The whole game. There can't be a drive that sputters out at the end. There can't be a drive that goes long and there's a turnover. Like they literally have to be scoring a touchdown on almost every single drive. So we're talking about the Stampeders and Argonauts. So let's get into this one. When I logged in and saw 67.5, I seriously couldn't believe it. This is like when I first started following CFL, this is 20 points more than what it used to be. So how do we break down this game, Stampeders and Argonauts?
Yeah, well, Andy, first of all, when you look at the last meeting that these two teams had together, 58-36. So it's not like the books aren't just pulling this out of nowhere. Like this was I think week 4, week 5 meeting. So there is history with these two teams. First and foremost, I will say I do believe this is kind of at this point could be kind of a sell spot on the Calgary Stampeders. Now, I will come on and say I cashed a 5% best bet 2 weeks ago on the Stamps and tried to fade them last week, but I had the wrong quarterback to do it. I put faith in a quarterback that I just talk smack about all the time. It's not a good plan. Picture a quarterback in the NFL that you guys all say is never good. And then I backed him for a play last week trying to fade a hot team. Wasn't a good plan. If there was a day to fade this Stamps team, I think there is here. I mentioned to you guys a handful of weeks in a row the fact that because of the World Cup, both Toronto and BC didn't really have many home games to start off the CFL season. Well, we are officially in week 10. This is the first home game of the season. This is the home opener for the Toronto Argos, and we're in week 10 here, guys. So, look, this Argonauts team has been sneaky. They have playmakers. Their defense has actually been better over the past couple weeks here. But I think the best play for us to go here for this one on a Thursday night to kick things off, build your bankroll as you approach the NFL, is the passing prop over for Chad Kelly. You can go to some books, you can get 314. Some books are going to give you 340. Some books are going to give you 350. You got to shop around. But when I look at this guy has put up incredible numbers all season long. The Calgary Stampeders give up the second most points per game in the league, and they are dead last as far as passing yards given up per game in this league. Look, they played a quarterback that just couldn't sling it. He got benched in the first half last week. That's on me for backing Trey Ford. This is a guy in Chad Kelly that I don't think gets enough credit around the league. And guys, look, he's got some off-field stuff he's dealt with. He's got some attitude issues. And the CFL media group isn't huge. So I think they decide who they want to hype up. They don't give this guy the attention or the hype he deserves because of whatever's happened off the field. But on the field, he's a gamer. If you can get over 340, I think this guy's going to have one hell of a day today. We'll take Chad Kelly over on his passing yards. And I do lean towards the Argos tonight. Home opener in week 10, guys. How about that?
That's a wild stat. That's one of those that'll never be broken. 10 straight road games to open up the season in the on the schedule. So really, really interesting. Next time your team complains about a bad scheduling spot, just bring that one up. Well, the Toronto Argonauts had 10 straight road games. All right, we're going to the Red Blacks and the Rough Riders. This one is Friday. The poor Red Blacks. Just week 10, they don't have a win yet, do they? We're in week 10. No. Oh, all right. Can they finally get a win? I almost feel like we're in the territory of you almost might start sprinkling them on the money line because they got to get a win eventually, don't they? They have to.
I thought you were going to say we're in the territory of talking about a winless season. And then you said we'll talk about that's where I thought you were going with that, Andy. But we haven't seen that in the CFL in years, in a long time. I will mention this. If we do think we can get a spark out of a team from something, they did just release who is potentially their best and most talented receiver, Geno Lewis, because according to the offensive coordinator and the coaching staff as well, he wasn't a right fit for the team. I guess the guy that was catching balls wasn't a right fit for the team. They've also just released the defensive coordinator for the team. There's been some changes made here, but this game is only going in one direction. And I feel like I've been on some contrarian plays this season here, Andy. This might be the most contrarian so far because I'm ready to back the Red Blacks. I'm ready to back the ugly dog. It's been tough backing ugly dogs the last 2 weeks in the CFL. There's a couple that we can consider for this week, but this Red Blacks team is actually gradually getting better. It's not showing up on the score sheet. They are making plays. They're just finding a way to mess it up by the time they get in within 20 yards. In the red zone, their play has been brutal. I had the passing prop over for their quarterback, Jake Mayer, mentioned it on WagerTalk Today last week. He went over it easily. Like in the first half, I was like, man, what a day this guy's having. I missed the first half of the game, tuned in for the second half. I'm like, how would they not have more points if this guy has like 170 yards? Oh, well, there's a fumble here and a pick here. So this team is getting better, though. They're moving the ball. Their defense is starting to at least cause some pressure on opposing quarterbacks. And one thing I like is they've been establishing the run game a little bit more as well. Look, Calgary last week, they put up 50 points one week, 60 points the other, 40 points the other. They're a tough team to go against. This Rough Riders team, the defending Grey Cup champions, the kind of team, guys, that will beat you but not embarrass you. That's how I look at the Rough Riders. They're going to be a win, don't cover type of team this week in week 10.
All right. Why haven't they changed their name, by the way, to like the roulette wheels? Like Red Blacks is just like, it just screams that like it's a roulette table. So yeah,
whenever they play, they're playing roulette with their games because it's been tough. It's been tough.
Tough going. Tough to get the crowd excited about an 0-7 start. So, Andrew, you got a special going up. I believe it is up. It's your complete football package. We're talking CFL and NFL. So tell us about that.
Look, super excited for NFL season, just like everybody else. Just because I've been betting CFL all summer long, I'm still pumped as anybody for the NFL season. Plus 17 units is how we finished with player props last year. We did have a couple units lost in the playoffs. It was actually much higher than that during the regular season, but a lot of 1% and 2% plays mixed in there. But the best bets long-term with NFL player props have been fantastic, guys. Long-term 11-4 run with NFL best bets. And as far as 5% plays at wagertalk.com, I'm ranking at number 3 in 2026. That's out of 33 handicappers. 5% plays, we've earned over 48 units. So get this package, guys. You're going to get all my CFL and all my NFL props all the way up until the big game. So looking forward to this, guys. Looking forward to the package. Some of you guys have already joined me. The plan here is to make the money with you guys with CFL, build the bankroll by the time NFL gets here. So check it out, wt.buzz/AM. I know hockey's around the corner. People are asking about that as well, but NFL player props, combo that with my CFL. We'll try and make you guys some money.
All right. Andrew McGinnis bringing the combo pack of CFL and NFL. Great work in the props market. Thank you very much, Andrew.
Thanks a lot, guys. Appreciate it. Take care.
All right. Breaking down an NFL future to end the show. But once again, remind everybody 5% tennis play is up. Also 4% MLB prop is up, running red hot in those. You guys know it, but the 3 days and get 3 days free is the proper way to invest in this because you're going to get 2 5% plays. If we hit this tennis 5% play, I'm probably coming right back with it. If I feel like I got a good read on a tournament, we're going to be firing away. The first few rounds of these tournaments is you got so many games and matches being played that's where all the value is going to be. So. Okay, we got an interesting NFL future here. It's running back Wednesday. We're going to the Giants, not the Cardinals, the Giants with Cam Scatabo. I went with his touchdowns prop, over under 6.5. Dan, I'm coming to you first. What's your thoughts on this one?
I'm pretty bullish on the Giants as a whole, to be quite honest with you. I mean, Harbaugh coming in, it can't be a net negative, right? I think there was some clear dissension in the locker room last year. Dable kind of seemed like he was a bit of a lame duck coach that they were going to be moving on from sooner rather than later. So I think some positivity heading in. Now, that being said, don't watch the video of John Harbaugh hyping up the team. The New York Giants. We're the New York Giants. Well, agnostic from all of that, Cam Scatabo is a player that last year burst onto the scene. Fantasy players know this was the guy who was a must start once he finally started getting opportunities. And as long as his recovery has gone as well as it looks like it has, since he's doing backflips at WWE events, dear God, John Harbaugh got mad at someone for bowling. I wonder how that one went over in the locker room with Scatabo doing backflips. That does tell me, though, Andy, a guy who has nothing in his brain other than run forward, run through people. This is a guy who seems like his rehab went well. It was a gruesome injury that he had, one of the grosser ones that we saw last season, and it seems like the rehab has gone well. I think this is all about opportunity for Cam, because I don't have the numbers directly in front of me right here, Andy, but this is a guy who scored, I believe, 5 touchdowns last season in a very limited amount of work. He really wasn't, the lead back until he seized that role, that breakout game against the Philadelphia Eagles. This just feels too low. Again, I know that it's 6.5. He had 5 last year. The usage will be higher for him. He's going to be their goal line back. He's a bruiser. And for all intents and purposes, this is a Giants team who is looking for stars. They want to sell jerseys. They want to have teams or players to believe in. They want nothing more than Jackson Dart and Cam Scatabo to work out. So the work's going to be there for Scatty. 7 touchdowns. As long as he stays healthy, Andy, I think this one feels too low. I think you're looking at more like 10 touchdowns for Scatabo this year.
Yeah, I picked this one for a reason because I think there's a lot of ways that you can attack his props here. So yeah, only played 8 games and had 5. Now 3 were in one game. So it wasn't like he was getting one every single game. This bruising running style, listen, this is not going to work for a long career, but we're just focusing on 1 year. What's interesting is his injury was not from like running into people. It was just a freak injury coming across the middle for a pass. So he didn't get hurt with what his style was. I go back to Isaiah Pacheco. When he broke his leg, the Chiefs brought him back in the same season, and he was never the same. Like, he wasn't good in that season, and he wasn't the same, and now he's a backup.
Never. Yep.
I like that he didn't come back in the season, but he is far enough away. I think he's close to healthy. The other good thing about this, Tyrone Tracy's a really good running back. Like, he could be a starter on some teams. Devin Singletary's a good third-round back, so I don't think they're going to be using him as much as people might think, which I think is a good thing for this particular prop. I don't trust Jackson Dart in the slightest with how he played last year. I don't trust that guy as far as I could throw him or as far as he could throw a ball. But here's the thing. What if he just gets 10 to 12 carries a game at the start just to keep him fresh?
That's all you need.
But man, when they get on the goal line at home, that crowd will go ballistic when he comes onto the field. He's got the perfect pedigree for a goal line back. I think they want to get him TDs. If this was a yards prop, I'd go under. But TDs, I think he's built for this role. So I would think he gets over this number as well. I just think it was such a freak injury. I don't think he's going to have anything like that happen this year. And he made it through 8 games with that bruising style, and I think he's going to get limited carries and be on the goal line. So I don't think that's out of line. I don't think that if he plays all 17 games and he's their goal line back, absolutely.
The point being made, Rob, is I think that this offense will be at least as capable as they were last year. Like, they were scoring points, you know what I mean? And Scatabo, as Andy Reid, I see him playing that same exact role. Does this mean that he's going to be a 1,000-yard rusher? No, but we're talking about a guy who will get the goal line work and can run through people. So, I'm not betting 10 plus touchdowns, anything like that, but the point that I'm trying to make is 6.5 is too low for how I line this guy. I think this number should be more like 7.5. Honestly, I would even still be leaning over if it's sitting at 8.5. So that's the point that I'm making, Rob. I think Scatabo will be a good, like one of those, everybody loves those anytime touchdown parlays. I think he's a guy who I'm going to have on some anytime touchdown bets throughout this season.
I agree completely. So, all right, we got the over on Cam Scatabo coming tomorrow. What team do we pick for tomorrow that we're breaking down? Broncos.
Tomorrow we're talking Broncos, which is it's an intriguing handicap, man. I've been going back and forth with this one because it feels like, again, we'll talk about it tomorrow. This is a team that coin flips. And we saw it with the Vikings some years. When you have teams that win coin flips one year, typically that isn't the modicum of success that you want moving forward. So we'll break that one down.
I've got some doozies for this one tomorrow. When you dig deep into the Denver Broncos season last year, it's crazy. One of the more bizarre ones in recent history. So we'll go over that. Initially, the 9.5 was like, how do they not fly over that? And then you go, wait a minute, the books know something. And sure enough, the books do know something. So, all right, that's going to do it for us. Let's have a big day, guys. 4% MLB tonight. That's coupled with a 5% tennis play that starts early tomorrow morning. Good luck on your bets. Don't forget to hit the like button. Drop us a comment. Tell us who you like in today's slate of action. We'll see everyone tomorrow, same time, same place. Take care.